Texts for Read-aloud are carefully selected considering interest and needs of students, the quality of the writing, and the curriculum expectations. During an effective read-aloud, the teacher models the behaviors of proficient readers. Watch this read-aloud lesson and notice how the teacher helps students read as writers. Modeling the proper intonation, pacing, and phrasing helps readers make meaning as they apply comprehension strategies and knowledge of how language and words work. Readers can apply their understandings as readers to their writing. As you view the clip, consider the learning environment. What do you notice that reflects this as a literacy-rich classroom? Think about the read-aloud lesson. What is the teacher doing? What are the students doing? How does the teacher focus the students' attention? What do you think makes this an effective approach?
The rainforest. Right, we were reading in our book yesterday about a little bit of persuasive writing about the rainforest. So we have an idea of what an important part of the world that is. In this book, some creatures, I'll say, who maybe you wouldn't expect would be persuading someone, but they're going to try and persuade someone to make positive change happen. Listen for that and be able to give some examples of who or what was trying to persuade. Notice the persuasion. All right, the Great Kapok Tree, A Tale of the Amazon Rainforest by Lynn Cherry. Two men walked into the rainforest. Moments before, the forest had been alive with the sounds of squawking birds and howling monkeys. Now all was quiet as the creatures watched the two men and wondered why they had come. The larger man stopped and pointed to a great kapok tree. Then he left. I wonder what they're doing. Why would they be coming to the rainforest?
I think they're going to cut down the kapok tree that says on the front, and because the person at the front has an axe, and I think they're going to cut it down.
The smaller man took the axe he carried and struck the trunk of the tree. Whack, whack, whack. Senor, my hive is in this kapok tree, and I fly from tree to tree and flower to flower collecting pollen. In this way I pollinate the trees and flowers throughout the rainforest. You see, all living things depend on one another. Have you noticed any persuasion trying to happen so far? Liam?
The animals are trying to persuade the person so that he doesn't cut down the tree because they're living in the tree.
That's one of his reasons. Excellent. A troop of monkeys scampered down from the canopy of the kapok tree. They chattered to the sleeping man. Senor, we have seen the ways of man. You chop down one tree, then come back for another. Talk to your nearby neighbor about the persuasion that you've heard. And what are their arguments to try and convince the man? Go ahead.
I was saying the animals are trying to get the man to stop cutting down the tree so they can still live there instead of him chopping down the tree, and all the animals have to go find in another forest and trees.
I think they're the way that they're trying to persuade him is that they're trying to tell him to leave their habitat alone.
So I was reading this read-aloud book in order to get the kids warmed up to the idea of persuasion and how it works, and just get an idea of ways that you can persuade, that you need arguments in order to support your opinion, just to get them introduced to that idea. Yes, and I give them questions to sort of guide their thinking along so that they're moving in the direction, the focus that I have in mind. Finish your idea. Do you think the animals will be successful? Bryce?
I think the animals will be successful because since he's in a sleep, it's easy to manipulate people. I think the animals will be successful because, well, you know when you're sleeping, right? Like, I've just gotten to sleep. Like, in my bed, and my brother, he'll come up and he'll be, like, talking to me, and I'll tell him, you know, go away, but then he'll keep whispering in my ear. And then whenever he's talking about, I always have a dream about it. So it might be the same with the man in the story.
Good connection. How convincing do you think those ideas are? Do you think they are ideas that would sway someone's decision even if they were awake? Think about that.
They're telling him facts, and they're really great reasons. I mean, if he thinks about it when he wakes up, like, it's a good reason not to cut it down, but it is sort of a good reason to cut it down. It depends on what he's using the wood for.
And how many trees he's cutting down. That's
Like,
right.
it is a good reason for the animals to tell him to stop because it's their home, and, like, the way I told Darlene about it, it's like, okay, so this is the rainforest. He cuts off one kapok tree, then some animals will die and they could become extinct, so that's like a quarter of the rainforest gone. And then he comes back and cuts down another one, gone again. Another one, gone, and then until the whole rainforest is gone.
So it's really important, if you have something that is important to the world, that you're really persuasive and make it happen. So we need to find a way so that our writing, our persuasive writing, will be able to change people's minds.
Once the teacher has read aloud an effective piece of writing, the students discuss why it is effective. The teacher may chart the responses for future reference. The teacher will connect this reading experience to the student's writing, encouraging students to apply some of the strategies that this author used to their own writing.